They laughed at his slurred speech. They rejected him for his looks. Casting agents told him he'd never be a star, and for years, he couldn't even land a decent role. Sylvester Stallone was broke, sleeping in a bus station, and forced to sell his dog just to survive. But instead of giving up, he picked up a pen and wrote the role no one would give him. That decision didn't just change his life, it changed movie history. This is the story of how Stallone turned rejection into triumph, and how Rocky wasn't just a movie, it was his life in disguise. In the early 1970s, Sylvester Stallone was just another struggling actor in New York City. His crooked mouth and gravelly voice, the result of nerve damage at birth, made him an easy target for casting directors who couldn't see past the surface. He scraped by doing odd jobs, sometimes earning barely enough to eat. He worked as a movie theater usher, a deli counter clerk, and even took roles in adult films just to keep the lights on. Nothing was beneath him, except giving up. Stallone didn't just want to act, he needed it. But the roles weren't coming, and desperation was closing in fast. At his lowest point, he sold his beloved dog, Buckus, for $50 because he couldn't afford to feed him. It was the moment he hit rock bottom, but it was also the turning point. Around that time, he watched a boxing match between Muhammad Ali and underdog Chuck Wepner. Wepner wasn't supposed to last around, but he did. And something about that fight, the struggle, the grit, the unexpected heart, lit a fire in Stallone. Inspired, he locked himself in a room and began writing. In just 3 days, he had a script, Rocky, the story of an unknown fighter, laughed at and overlooked, who gets a once-in-a-lifetime shot, not just at victory, but at dignity. Stallone poured his entire soul into that script. It wasn't fiction, it was autobiography in disguise. Rocky Balboa was him. The rejection, the hunger, the desperate hope, it was all real. When Stallone started shopping the script around, the offers came in quickly, but with a catch. Studios wanted the story, but not the actor. They offered him hundreds of thousands of dollars, life-changing money, for the rights. But Stallone refused. Over and over again. He turned down every deal that didn't include him as the lead. Hollywood thought he was crazy. Who turns down $350,000 when they don't even have a place to live? But Stallone knew, if he sold the script without starring in it, he might never get another shot. So he gambled it all. Eventually, United Artists agreed to make Rocky, but only on a shoestring budget. Stallone finally had his chance, but he'd have to prove himself in every scene. And he did. Rocky wasn't flashy. It was gritty, raw, and human. It wasn't about winning, it was about going the distance. About showing the world, and yourself, that you belong. Stallone didn't just act that part, he lived it. When Rocky hit theaters in 1976, it didn't just connect. It exploded. It became a cultural phenomenon, grossing over $225 million and winning 3 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. Stallone, the man who was once told he'd never make it, was now a household name. He had written himself into history, not just with words, but with willpower. He didn't stop there. He turned Rocky into a franchise, then created another icon with Rambo. He went from rejected actor to action legend, building an empire that spanned decades. But no matter how big the roles got, he never forgot the struggle. He even bought back his dog, Buckus, and put him in Rocky, a full-circle moment that symbolized everything he fought for. Stallone's story isn't just about success. It's about belief. About staying true to your vision, even when no one else sees it. About getting knocked down again, and getting back up every time. He wasn't handed anything. He wrote it. He earned it. And in doing so, he proved that sometimes the only person who needs to believe in you is you. Today, Sylvester Stallone is more than a movie star. He's a symbol of perseverance. A living reminder that rejection is not the end. It's the beginning of the fight. And if you're willing to go the distance like Rocky did, you just might write yourself into history too.